Hi there, thanks for tuning in. I'm Adam, this is my colleague Jonathan, and we're both flute consultants at Just Flutes. One of the most frequent conversations that we have with customers is with parents who are faced with the minefield of buying a student flute. There are so many choices out there, so many different ways to buy, new, pre-owned, where do you get it from, which brand do you go for? And over the years we've seen quite a few horror stories, really, haven't we?
Well, we've had fake Yamahas, and we've had instruments with tone holes filed off, and of course, you know, people are buying these in good faith and really don't realise that there's a key issue with them until they bring them in for repair or to find out what's wrong with them.
Absolutely, yeah. And often you can end up spending many times more the value of the flute in repair costs.
And it's false economy.
Absolutely. So that's what we really wanted to address with this video. So let's start with this flute here, which is sub £100.
So we wanted to see what a sub £100 flute looked like and how it played. So we ordered this from probably the biggest online retailer at under £100. It came in, and it does work out of the box. But first thing we noticed was that it's actually described as a silver plated flute, and it's actually nickel plated. And quite a few youngsters are allergic to nickel, so I don't think any of the other manufacturers make nickel plates anymore. No. And the other thing we noticed fairly early on is the fact that the mechanism is quite soft. It's quite actually soft mechanism, and that's quite a key thing because there's a lot of moving parts. It needs to stay in regulation, and the danger is that it will go out of adjustment quite quickly.
Well, I mean, Ian assessed it in our workshop, didn't he? Ian McLaughlin. He actually wrote a quite a long report on it, and one of the things he mentioned was that the adjusting screws are very soft, and even just as you're adjusting the flute to get into regulation, they bend. So it's almost impossible to keep it in
regulation. I think that's right, and I think the thing is that the danger is that it becomes difficult to play, and the student blames themselves when in fact it's actually the flute which is perhaps not playing at its best, or keeps going out of regulation.
Absolutely. I mean, you need to get that positive feedback loop, don't you? You need to
definitely think,
I can do this, it's really easy to play, and unfortunately having a flute that isn't working properly isn't going to
I mean, I think that's right. So it's not really a long-term solution, this, at all.
No.
I mean, I'm sure there'll be people who bought these and are playing them, and that's absolutely fine, but I think particularly with youngsters, I'm not sure if that's the best course of action.
So let's look at some of the alternatives.
So one of the instruments which has come on the market in fairly recent years is the fife, which is basically a mini flute in plastic, keyless, quite free blowing, and all the foundation sort of techniques for flute playing you can learn on this instrument. And at the time of filming, this is sort of sub £10. So
the beauty of the fife is that kids can learn all the basics, can't they? All the fingerings, the articulation, breathing, tone production, all of those basics. And we see it, don't we, when they've been playing for a term or two, and they come in to they're showing commitment to the instrument. Then the parents buy them, come in to buy them a student flute, and they produce a beautiful sound.
They can pick it up and play it, absolutely. So I think that's definitely something to consider, or indeed the recorder. I mean, back in the day, pretty much every school child learnt the recorder, and of course a lot of those techniques can be learnt on that as well. The fife is an excellent starting point. We've made quite a few videos on this instrument, and you can watch them by clicking on the link below.
So next up, going up the price range, this is the Nuvo student flute. It's about the same price as the online flute that we were talking about earlier. It's fully plastic, really, really nice and light, and I mean, it was designed actually for classroom teaching, for group teaching. John, what are your thoughts on the?
Well, I think it's ideal for youngsters. I mean, it's a light instrument, isn't it, and quite free blowing. I think it's certainly an option, certainly worth considering.
They're really easy to maintain. They are. I mean, if you get a key breaks on it, then you just get a new one. They're like an Airfix kit. You just clip the new one in.
It is like a kit flute, really, and it's a very clever design, and certainly an option.
For more information on the Nuvo flutes, click on the links below, and you can read more about them on our website. In an ideal world, we would recommend starting on a metal flute with all the keys as a traditional flute. And this is our own brand, Just Flutes JFL 201E. And this is a very good beginner's flute on a budget.
Yeah, the Just Flutes, the 201E is a good entry-level flute, which would see you to sort of grade 4, from a standing start, which I think represents good value.
Yeah, and it's available with a curved head joint as well for the smaller beginners. And really, it ticks all the boxes for a beginner flute. So it's got nice, strong mechanism, which is really reliable, it's robust, it's easy to play. The head joint is designed so it's really nice and
free blowing.
Free blowing, yeah. Absolutely. And yeah, as Jonathan said, you can take you through the early grades, no problem at all. Yeah. So these are on our website at justflutes.com. So again, click on the links below for more information.
So the best long-term value we would recommend would be probably from one of the 4 main manufacturers of student flutes, which would be the Yamaha, the Pearl, Jupiter or Trevor James. Those 4 makes are probably the most popular student flutes on the market, and certainly for longevity and future proofing would be the best options, and certainly would see you to the later grades. And really you're getting an instrument which is not only reliable, but it would certainly see you further up the ladder, and importantly withhold very good value, resale value, when it comes time to upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, we see Yamahas, in particular Yamahas, because they're one of the most popular on the market, and they can be 20 or 30 years old and they still command a really good resale value, and most importantly they're still playing really well, whereas some of the other cheaper alternatives won't be.
Although these may not be the cheapest student flutes on the market, we do offer quite a lot of different financial options which you can check out on our website.
We hope you found this video useful. If you'd like any more advice, we're all flute players here and we've all got teaching experience, so do give us a call or arrange a video consultation via our website. For more flute videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow us on social media. Thanks very much for watching, and happy fluting.